Eli and Anne, all the way over in Sydney.
Sydney, Australia.
Yeah, what time is it for you over there? You're like midnight, practically.
8 p.m.
It's just after 8. It's just after 8 p.m.
Okay. So Eli, just so everybody knows, you're my cousin, my first cousin.
We are related.
My
our mothers were sisters.
Yes, our mothers are sisters. You're my Antipodean family. And Anne, you are Eli's long-suffering wife, are you not?
Correct.
What do you do, Anne? Can I ask you?
Long suffering.
Let's just talk about a little bit about what you do, Anne, because I think it's interesting.
Well, I ran a daycare for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
I just retired last year.
Oh, mazel tov. Okay.
Thank you.
So working with young kids.
Gave me grey hairs, let me tell you.
Grey hair that you're not actually particularly showing.
No.
And that's a conscious choice.
That's right.
Okay, that's fine.
It is.
And how do you feel about that, Eli?
I'm not fussed. I like to think that I'm happy with whatever choices Anne makes. I've often said to her, if she went grey, I would still love her and love her a lot and make no difference to me. But we've actually never been there. She's never actually gone grey. And so in all fairness, I don't know how I would react if I'm being completely honest. And yeah, so you know, as it is, I'm happy to have a brunette as a wife.
You're happy to have a brunette as a wife, and you've had this brunette for a while, for some years now.
Almost 40.
Almost 40. That's quite a thing. You mentioned earlier, actually, and that your friends are also quite clear about not choosing to stop coloring as well.
Yes, that's right.
Why do you think that is? Can I ask?
I think because, well, I mean, as far as what we've spoken about, it's because they do not want to look older, and they feel that going grey would make them look older.
And so are you in the same way?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I am. I think it would make a big difference.
So are you wanting to preserve your youth, shall we say, or are you wanting to be thought of differently? What's the impetus here?
Well, I don't think it's got to do with what other people think. I think it's just for my own benefit that I still want to remain
youthful.
Yeah.
So you want to look in the mirror and still see this youthful looking woman and feel good about that. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, well, that's fair. And can I ask you, Eli, if you sit forward a little bit, we will see that actually your greys are not so out there either.
No, I'm not as grey as others in my age group, and I'm 62. I just turned 62. There are others that are much more grey. Okay. So I have been blessed in that regard. And I've managed to keep my hair, which is also unusual for someone my age, I suppose.
It's a double tick you have over there, yeah?
Yeah. And you know, it's always been more of a concern with me to keep my hair, not what actual color it is, but actually to keep my hair. And so that's always been more of a thing. That I was going to go grey eventually was never something that I was worried about. It was actually losing the hair because my father was bald, all his brothers are bald, my brothers are bald, and so that's been the thing that has concerned me, not so much the grey.
Okay. Well, you've become grandparents recently, about a year or so ago now.
Yeah.
So, and that doesn't make either of you feel that now you can just let it go and just chill about whatever color you are?
No, definitely not. It's made no difference to me.
It's made no difference to me on a daily basis, although I have to say every now and again, I do think to myself, oh my goodness, I'm someone's grandfather. And so it does make me feel that age a little bit when I do think along those lines. Ordinarily, I don't. It's just me living my normal life, and I get up in the morning and I do what I do and I don't do what I don't do. But every now and again, when I do think of the fact that I'm a grandfather, it does hit home, I suppose, that I have gotten old.
Well, we shared grandparents, didn't we, Eli?
Yes,
So
yes.
I'm sure you remember them as well as I do. And let's take our grandmother.
Yes.
I look at pictures of her when I've now worked out that she was just in her 50s, and she always had gray hair scraped back into a bun at the back of her head.
Absolutely.
She was ageless because she was just the grandmother who was gray with the hair scraped back.
But to us, she was always old. I don't even know if I saw the gray hair or not, because as you say, it was tied back in a bun, and so she didn't really have much visible hair to look at because it was tied back. Yeah. But to us, she was always grandmama, and she was always old.
Exactly. Always. And and also grandpapa, same thing. Yes. Gray and older. And even when they weren't particularly old, they were like in their late 40s, I think, when we appeared. Yeah. But they looked old. Yeah. And we're not them.
No, we're not them. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that is not, I wouldn't say that's a revolt. That is just that we're just not.
That's the way it is. Yeah. It's very strange to think that she was our grandmother. She's now passed away, obviously. She was our grandmother, and now I'm someone's grandparent. And it's very hard for me to equate the two, that, wow, I'm not that old.
We don't feel that old. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
No.
It's strange.
As a number, it's getting there, but we don't feel it.
No, because we're still active. We still do stuff. Until recently, Anne, you were still full-time occupied. So one thing that I wanted to talk to you about was the dynamic between the two of you. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, Anne, as you know, Eli and I spoke before about how he feels about you continuing to be a brunette.
Yes.
And from that conversation, he was saying things, and let's talk about it. How do you feel about the fact that Anne colors her hair? And let's be honest about this. Let's not just be politically correct. Let's be honest about how you really feel about having Anne by your side, like this hot-looking brunette lady. How do you feel?
I am comfortable with that because, like, I look at her and I try and imagine her with gray hair. Yeah. And it's still the same face. Like, it's still that same face that I've grown accustomed to over the years, over the decades. But hair makes a difference.
Hair makes a huge difference. Yeah. And I personally don't think he would be happy at all if I did not color my hair. I think if I decided not to continue dyeing my hair, I think he would definitely encourage me to start doing it again.
Really?
You think so? I do, 100%.
And why do you think that is?
And because I don't think he would like it. It would definitely make me look older. And I don't know for what reason he wouldn't like it, whether it would be for himself or me, but I don't think he would like it.
It's interesting. We should actually do the experiment.
Yeah.
And we should see.
So what happened? You said recently that there was the white line reappearing.
Yeah. So if I don't, like, if I leave my hair a little bit longer and I do, and obviously I'm going to get this white line in the middle of my head and around the sides. And he always points it out to me.
I point it out to you because it's so glaringly obvious that you haven't dyed your hair. Not that I think that you're going to look terrible, or that, just to make sure that you've noticed.
So you're saying it for my benefit, so that I don't see it myself.
Exactly. I'm not saying it for my benefit.
But just in case her eyesight's failing and she can't see that actually.
That's right.
She is getting old.
Yeah. But it's helpful that you should be at her side, reminding her of the beauty treatments that she needs to make sure that she keeps up with to continue.
Well, and that tells you something, doesn't it?
It does say something. So
maybe it's a subconscious thing that I do. I don't know.
Maybe it's subconscious. Maybe it is. Maybe. So let me just say this, and let's see what you think about this.
Yeah.
What I'm getting is that having Anne looking the way she does, not gray, not older, makes you feel better, because it makes you feel that your age is being preserved, because it may be 62, but actually look at you and look at her, and she's still with you. What does that say about you? You've got a young looking woman next to you, and that makes you feel better as a bloke. What do you think?
Maybe. Look, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. Although I don't know if I can take it 100%. Like it's possible, but because I've not seen her, because we don't have her as Grey, and because I haven't seen myself outside in a setting like that with a grey-haired wife, I don't know. I honestly don't know. With a brunette wife, this is my whole life. It's just like she's looked the same from day one. Obviously, we've aged. She's aged a bit, and there are lines with one of the lines before. But when I look at her, I still see that same girl that I've been looking at for the last 43 years, 44 years, which is a really nice thing. And maybe that's just the love that's blinding me a little bit, not allowing me to see the reality of things. Maybe, I don't know, but I do see her with those young eyes still. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Well, that's honest, and I appreciate that. I'm saying this because if you're thinking about what it would feel like to have a gray-haired wife, that's a statement. And with men go gray, and they get called things like silver fox or wise or all those things. It's a different journey for women. And the dynamic here is really interesting because it is a different journey, and we all have to think about what makes us feel comfortable. I feel that people should do what makes them feel comfortable. My journey was different, and people I speak to all have different journeys, but it's a very interesting aspect here that women do think about it a lot. And it's interesting to hear what men think about their wives, their partners, their women, and how they would feel.
I had a book club like quite a few months ago, I just remember now, and we were talking about going grey, and everyone was saying what their husbands would think, and not one of them said that the husband would be happy for them to go grey.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. And in fact, one of the women there who is grey, and she decided at a very young age she did not want to colour her hair, so she just let it go naturally from word go. And she said she even had girlfriends that she said she's got one girlfriend that actually did not want to remain friends with her anymore because of that, which I found
because she went grey.
Yeah, which I found
maybe she feels that it reflects on her that she has such old friends because
old
maybe
friends,
yeah.
Interesting.
But none of the husbands wanted their wives to go grey,
and that's it. And that's okay, that's just the truth. But as long as you can still crawl around with your grandson, that's
that's right.
It's been great speaking to you.
And that's a lot of fun, I got to tell you.
It's been great speaking to you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Always nice. Always a pleasure.